Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Feet. In this video we're going to take a quick look at Ride 13, the updates it has made from the ISO 2 and who this shoe is for. So touching on who this shoe is for, it is a neutral shoe, so someone with a medium to high arch, someone with a stronger foot that just doesn't want a whole lot of stability in the shoe itself, and just want something that's nice and plush, sink in, and is still quite light at the same time. This shoe will work nice for you, even if you want something that kind of does a bit of everything. If you want something to go to the gym, do a bit of running in, do basically everything you want in as far as a workout shoe goes. The Ride 13 will easily tick all those few boxes for you. So this shoe does fit in with their neutral shoes as far as Saucony goes. So you start with your Kinvara, you got your Ride, then you got kind of your Freedom and your Triumph at the top end. This does fit in nicely as just that workhorse that can easily do a bit of everything. It kind of targets that just recreational runner that wants a pretty simplistic shoe that can easily handle a lot of Ks and just hold up over the life of it. So looking at that outsole, you got your carbon rubber in your heel zone as well as your airline in your forefoot, and with your toe off you go back to that carbon rubber. So keeps that slightly more cushioning underneath your forefoot with having that air-blown rubber. So with that there are air particles in the actual outsole itself, so it makes it a slight bit softer. You're going to sink into it a bit better than just your carbon rubber in your high landing zone. So with your heel having that 8mm drop, there is a slight bit more cushioning underneath that, and the carbon rubber is just going to absorb the impact nicely, and it's not going to get beat up compared to the air-blown rubber. So with that push off, you got a slight bit more cushioning underneath your forefoot. And on your toe off, where some people do wear a bit, it's just going back to that carbon rubber, so it's going to get a slight bit more high abrasive. Just looking at your flex grooves as well, there's a ton in the outsole of the Ride, so if you want that something that's got quite a bit of a flex but it does snap back quite nicely, with the power run that the Sauconys are using in the midsole with this Ride 13. Very nice cushioning system. You get a lot of flexibility in that power run they do use, and it's still quite flexible at that forefoot. So with this being a neutral shoe, you don't really want a whole lot of kind of stability aspect in it if you are wanting to run in that kind of lightweight, quite a reasonable amount of cushioning and still being a bit flexible. Yeah, solid outsole, pretty simplistic as far as Saucony goes, just how most outsoles should kind of be. Moving on to the midsole, so they have gone away from the power foam that they did use in the Ride ISO 2 and they've moved on to the power run. So it is a full length power run, then they go to top sole of, I think it's either Everrun or a Power Run Plus. But yeah, looking at that Power Run, very nicely dialed in. They did first release it in their Guide 13, and it is a good cushioning system. I think this does feel a bit softer than the Guide 13 does, just since the Guide 13 is a stability shoe. So this does run with an 8mm drop as well. You're looking at a 32 to 24, so supposedly this has more cushioning underneath the heel of it than a Clifton 7 coming in at, the Clifton 7's coming in at 29, this does come in at a 32. So supposedly you got more cushioning underneath that heel, than running with that 8mm drop does go down to a 24mm at the front. A lot of cushioning as far as the power run goes. I'd probably put it up a slightly bit softer version of the Nike React, since it does use that thermoplastic kind of blend with the EVA. It does handle a lot more Ks, and you're going to get that kind of durable cushioning over the life of the shoe when it kind of deteriorates after that 500 Ks as standard EVA will. This will just handle a bit better. Moving on to the upper, so with your Ride ISO 2 it did have that ISO fit, so just those kind of fingers locking down the midfoot. This has just gone back to just a traditional way how to lace up a shoe. Very nicely fitting upper though, nice and shallow throughout that toe section as well as your midfoot. It does have a nice kind of slight elastic to it as far as the forefoot goes. Very breathable, nice round toe box, so even if your little fingers kind of get irritated by some shoes, they shouldn't in the Ride 13. Nice lockdown over the midfoot. They kind of have done a bit of 3D printing there, and running with a gusseted tongue plus a eyelet on that lacing system, it shouldn't slip down to that lateral side. Nice heel counter, pretty simplistic, not a whole lot of cushioning there, but just enough for a shoe to actually work. Yeah, very simplistic shoe as far as the technology goes into it, but it definitely holds up when it comes to the price point. So here in Australia this is $200, so fits in nicely as far as comparing it to like a Pegasus or a 880 by New Balance. Yeah, very good shoe. Can easily see myself picking up this over the Guide, or even just, yeah, something that I want a bit more cushioning than the Kinvara. This will hold up quite well. Plus just having that airborne rubber underneath your forefoot, it's still going to be a bit sticky even in a wetter climate. Yeah, very good shoe, very nicely dialed in. Not sure where the Ride 14 will kind of go, what kind of changes they'll make, because this is a very nicely dialed in shoe. They may introduce the pull tag, which a lot of you people that have been a bit crippled running can't seem to get on without a pull tag. But yeah, as far as durability goes, you're probably going to be looking at about 800k to this. My brother did run in the Ride ISO 2 and got to that 800k mark, and it still held up quite well. Can't say any bad things about this shoe. We'll see how it holds up when it comes to a bit late stage in the run. I think Josh might end up running in this shoe or even working in it. If you want to compare this to any other shoe on the market, or even have any suggestions or comments on how you've been running it yourself, let us know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and we'll see you in another video.